Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and yes, it's been a long time, but I finally found where I put my box of Coatl Guard from Lost Kingdom Miniatures. Now, they did this Kickstarter a few years back now, and they currently have a Kickstarter finishing up for STL scenery that looks quite cool, and they also have a Patreon that has a bunch of other stuff, and I'll put links down below if you're curious about that, but these are their honest-to-goodness resin releases, and I have not seen them since. So I actually painted one. We'll show him off in a little bit, but I figured we're going to get the whole gang assembled here. So this box set was, I believe, 10 of their Coatl Guard. Now, the Coatl Guard were the Temple Guard, basically, stand-ins that Lost Kingdom came up with. Let me give you a good look-see at what a Coatl Guard entails, if I can get it out of the bag. To me, these are what Lizardmen really should be looking like if we're going to go all in with the Mesoamerican style. So first of all, if you've never seen any of my other videos, I do have a whole playlist of the Lost Kingdom models. They are quite detailed and require quite a bit of cleanup. Now, their STL stuff obviously is going to be a little bit different. But they have these really fancy, elaborate headdresses, which I really dug. Now, this guy doesn't look as bad as some of the others. But again, they have really elaborate armor and detail work all over them. Shoulder pads, bracelets. I mean, there's a lot of adornments. And yeah, you can see there's a lot of cleanup on this guy as well. They all have these big two-handed clubs. Some are more detailed than others. They're also quite big, which really and honestly is the way it should be. My only issue with them, having built some, is that number one, they only have, is this a 25 millimeter base? Grabbing our 30 millimeter stand, yeah. Good old Bloody Bradigan. They were designed for big, massive blocks. Not my favorite, but it is what it is. Grabbing another one, you can see a more traditional looking club, but again, very elaborate headdress. Got big shoulder pads, dangly earrings. This is number 8, I guess. Oh, well, that's a nice little touch. They actually are both numbered, so when goofballs like me are mixing everything up because they have to open everything all at once, we know where it goes. So you can see there. Let me grab my painted one and I'll show you what he looks like. So here is one that I painted years ago, probably at this point. But just to give you a good look, you can see he's quite elaborate in his armored form there. I'm not fond of this headdress, and I'll probably change it up. But you can see, actually wearing a loincloth too. Grabbing a GW lizard. Again, you can see there's a big height discrepancy. Now, I did paint these some time ago, so there's no telling how these ones are going to turn out. But let's just take a look at some of the rest. I don't know if there was a specific command model or not. Okay, you've got like one of the big axes. It's got an interesting feathered headdress there. There might actually be a command model. I don't know. I could probably look at the box and that might tell me. Another of the axe club things. I want to say there might be one and he's like brandishing his weapon one-handed. There was, however, no actual standard included with this group. I want to say, well, I like his headdress. That's kind of cool. I believe that they were a separate option if they existed at all. It's quite possible they did not. I'm going to have to go back and fix that one guy's plumage. I'm not fond of it. Okay, it looks like they all are just going to carry their weapons like actual Temple Guard. Hence the guard part of their Coatl name. I'm going to get these guys put together and I will show you how they all look, so sit tight. So check it out. We put our Coatl Guard together. I don't have them on the right base, but that's okay because I wanted to point out the fact that they actually came with this size base. They're all in 25 millimeter round bases, and they did have the option, obviously, for squares, but these dudes are crazy. First of all, they're really, really big and really, really ornate. They got a lot going on with their gear. And another interesting fact, I didn't even notice it's got kind of like a little lizard face on it, is the fact that every single lizard in the unit is completely different. And they were 10 to a box, and absolutely every single one of them, number one, has a completely different headdress, completely different shoulder guards, completely different loincloth, weapon, everything. Everything is different. There is not a single repeat sculpt in the entire group, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. I mean, obviously they have very similar looks, but nope, there is not a single repeat. I don't have the other guys handy. Two of them are getting painted, and one I broke and accidentally put the wrong arms on, so he's getting fixed. That one's on me. Yeah, I noticed that for some reason, I don't know if it was the way they were put on the sprue or what, but in case you ever end up like me and have tons of parts laying around, the easy way to figure out who is to look for the shoulder pads that match up. They all should match. So, personally, I think they fit a lot better on 30mm bases. So this is an old War Machine base, but given the size and stature and girth of these guys, I think they really do need something bigger. I might just glue them on the 25mm just for the heck of it, because that's what they came with, and I'm kind of weird like that, but I feel like they do need a bit more space. Now, grabbing some other models so you guys get a good idea of just what we're looking at size-wise, we're going to remove the unpainted fellows here and keep our painted friend. Grabbing a regular Lizardman. Unfortunately, he's the only one I have handy, and I know he's got the weird spikes on him, but forgive me. It's from our skirmish days of when the Warhammer skirmish book came out for Age of Sigmar. But I also thought, if you're curious how they stack up with the new Blood Bowl Lizardman, and I'm still sore about the fact that we got to start collecting for Slaves of Darkness, and when they came out with the new Seraphon tome, all we got was a dinky little pyramid rather than, you know, at least monopose guys about this size. That would have been great. Anyway, I'm rambling. Grabbing a Mantic. I think it's a lizard. Or it might be part of their fish people. I don't even know. Can't remember. Mantic human while we're at it, just to give you guys a good size indication there. I'm curious if these are ever going to show up on their Patreon, because there's just too many unique sculpts. Maybe they'll do some kind of super modular version. I don't know. Possibly. Get them in there with a Frostgrave guy and they really get imposing. With a goblin. Why there's a goblin here, I'm not sure. But he's there nonetheless. Yeah, when you start stacking them up with the big stuff that Lost Kingdom's done. You can see they're even bigger in size there. So overall, a really impressive kit. Just kind of marred by the fact that they have really tiny bases. I really feel like they need bigger bases. Or if you're going to go for the big, hardcore block of infantry and you're going to do like Kings of War or Ninth Age or some other mass combat system that I'm not aware of, you know, the base size at that point isn't even going to matter. But then, you know, I think you can really use their size to their advantage. They're so large, you could probably get away with putting a lot less on a stand and really spread the value out there in terms of how many guys you have to a unit. You can probably squeeze out at least 2 units with these, I think, if you're judicious with your basing. But yeah, very cool kit, and hopefully we will see their return some point in the future, because they are obviously sold out and long gone at this point, so all we can do is hope. With that said, this is High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.